Adobe Illustrator, TextEffects, Part 1. Let's proceed to create a new document. Let's go to File, New, and let's call this file TextEffects and then your name and last name. Let's change the width to 2000. Let's make it 1500 width by 2000 height. Okay, that will be fine. Make sure that the units is pixels. Let's click OK. Now let's proceed to create our text effects. Adobe Illustrator is extremely powerful and you can create incredible text effects. We are going to create 4 text effects in total, but they are going to be very nice, but not as complicated as some other text effects that we could do. So let's proceed to click on the type tool. You can also press T. And now let's click. Remember, you need to click once. Do not create a box here. So do not hold the left mouse button. You just click once. And notice that now it is very, very small. We can barely see it. So let's go ahead and change the size. Instead of 12, you can also, if you don't see this panel, you can always click on character, okay? Character, and then it's gonna allow you to change the size here. So that's another way of changing it. So now let's change the font size. We click on this drop down arrow. Let's go for 72, okay? We can always make it even larger. So instead of 72, let me make it even bigger. Let's go for 120. And now notice that it's bigger. And let's go for, let's say 200. All right. And then we can also change the character type. So for this one, let's select the following one, Ravie, right? So that's R-A-V-I-E, Ravie, okay? And then after that, we can click once and start typing. So let's type uppercase jungle, all right? Uppercase jungle. And now let's click on the selection tool to the left, top left corner. And now let me zoom in this. So first let me move it down a little bit, drag in. And now let me zoom in. I'm gonna press Z. And then I'm gonna create a box here to zoom in. There we go. And now I can press V. And notice that from the bottom right corner, I can enlarge it. Remember that if I hold the shift key and I start dragging from the bottom right corner, it's going to enlarge proportionally. If I release the shift key and then I start dragging here, then it will not do it proportionally, right? And I can do that from either side, left or right, or pretty much any corner, right? So now it looks bigger. Okay, so as we've seen before, we can change the stroke color. And here at the top left, we can change the stroke color to any color we like. And then we can also change the fill color here to any color that we like. But Adobe Illustrator is even more powerful than that, so that we can add an infinite number of fills and infinite number of strokes. So if I click on the text once again, and now we use the appearance panel here to the right, middle right, looks like a sun. Let's go ahead and click on the appearance panel. And now notice that it's gonna allow me to add any number of fills and strokes. So if I click on the stroke, it's adding a new stroke. Make sure that when you click on the appearance panel that your text is selected, right? If not, you're going to be making lots of changes here to the appearance panel, but they will not be applied to the text. So I added a new stroke, and then let's add another stroke. Okay, and notice that I have a fill here. So let's click here on the fill, and let's click on this down arrow. And then we notice that we can change to any color we like, the fill, or we can go here at the bottom left corner, right? Bottom left corner, swatch libraries menu. We click, and now let's select patterns, and let's go to nature, right? and you're gonna select nature foliage, okay, the bottom one, nature foliage, and you should get this panel right here, and we are gonna click on the middle one, leaves tropical color, right? We click and notice that we have it. Of course, you can select other ones. You see this one, but I don't really like them. They're not for jungle models, but they are available there just in case you need them. So we're gonna go for the leaves tropical color. All right. Then after that, if you want to leave this panel open, that's okay, or you can just close it. Okay. Then in the stroke, notice that we have two strokes, one at the top and one at the bottom, right? So let's change this one. The one is actually in the middle, and so let's change the stroke color, right? Let's make it. Let's see. So let's make this one white. Let's see what's going on. If we make it white, and then we change the stroke weight. Suppose that we make it 4. Okay. Now notice that is the stroke that is the innermost stroke, right? So the outermost stroke is at the top. And notice that we made it 4, and we can go even further. So suppose that we make it 8, and now we can clearly see, right, that we have the stroke, the inner stroke. And then this outer stroke, we can change the stroke color. Let's make it a dark green right there. And instead of 2 points, let's make it 4 points. There you go. So notice that we can see there. Another thing that we could do is to do the opposite. Suppose that we make this one 8, right? And then this one, we make it 4. Now we can see it, right? Absolutely, we can see it. But let's see what happens if we switch colors. Suppose we make this one white, and now we make this one green. Okay? Notice that we can't see it either, right? Because this one, the one in the middle, is the innermost stroke. That's why we can't see it, okay? So let's just leave it the way it was. So let's make it 8 points, and this one white, okay? And then this one is gonna be green, okay? And we go for 4 points, all right? And you can experiment as much as you want, that's okay, all right? Then the last thing that we'll do is let's go ahead and add an effect. So if we click here on FX, then we go to stylize. Careful, because there are two stylize. There's one stylize at the bottom, but we're gonna use the stylize at the top, and then you're gonna select drop shadow. All right, drop shadow. Okay, and then you check preview, and now notice that we have a shadow there. Pretty cool. And you can leave the exact same settings that I have here, and then click OK. All right, now let me collapse this menu and click on the empty area of the artboard to deselect. All right, and let's go ahead and save with Control S. We save it, right? So let me go to the folder and click on save. All right. If you get this pop-up panel, then you just click OK. All right, and that concludes the Jungle TextEffects.